Welcome to Religion Story YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you. We often hear about how Islam is growing in the UK, France, or Germany. But what about Portugal? Surprisingly, the Muslim community in Portugal has been growing quietly, filled with powerful stories, social challenges, and an inspiring spirit of integration. From praying on the streets of Lisbon, to the hard work of Muslim migrants, and heartwarming interfaith dialogue. This is more than just a story about a minority, it's the new face of Europe. Watch until the end, because you'll see a side of Islam in Europe that you may have never seen before. Lisbon, Portugal. In the narrow alleys of Moraria, one of Lisbon's oldest and most multicultural neighborhoods, the call to prayer often echoes from small, tucked-away mosques nestled between aging buildings. Although Muslims remain a minority in Portugal, the community has been steadily growing in numbers, religious activities, and social contributions. Today, it is estimated that there are between 40,000 and 100,000 Muslims living across Portugal. They come from a wide range of backgrounds, including immigrants from South Asia, Africa, the Middle East, and former Portuguese colonies such as Mozambique and Guinea-Bissau. An urgent need for worship spaces. In Moraria, the existing mosques are often filled to capacity, especially on Fridays. Many worshippers are forced to lay their prayer mats on sidewalks or narrow streets due to lack of indoor space. Sometimes we have to pray outside even in the rain. We're grateful to have a place to worship, but we hope a solution can be found, said Imran Khan, a shopkeeper from Bangladesh who has lived in Lisbon for 8 years. Plans to build a new mosque in the area have been discussed for over a decade. However, the project continues to face administrative delays and a lack of clarity around land allocation. Ramadan, a time of compassion and solidarity. During the holy month of Ramadan 2025, the Lisbon Islamic Center once again became the hub of religious and social activity. Each day, thousands of iftar meals were distributed free of charge, not only to Muslims but to anyone in need. We open our doors to everyone, not just Muslims. This is about humanity, said Sheikh David Munir, Imam of the Lisbon Islamic community. Beyond food distribution, the community organized religious study sessions, clothing drives, and interfaith activities aimed at strengthening relationships between different religious groups. Challenges, prejudice and misinformation. While Portugal is generally known for its tolerant society, the Muslim community faces growing challenges in the form of negative narratives and stereotypes. Some local media outlets and politicians have begun to voice exaggerated concerns about Muslim immigration. The Lisbon Islamic community has publicly urged the public to remain vigilant against misinformation. It's not fair to suspect all Muslims simply because of their faith. We live in peace, we pay taxes, and we help build this country, emphasized Sheikh Munir. A recent study by the European Journal of Migration found that the level of integration among Muslims in Portugal is among the most positive in Europe. Notably, there have been no major cases of violent radicalization within the Portuguese Muslim population. Preserving heritage, building the future. The Murtola Islamic Festival, held every 2 years, serves as a vibrant reminder that Islam is deeply rooted in Portugal's long history. The event revives the cultural spirit of the Al-Andalus era with traditional music, open-air markets, and interfaith dialogues. Meanwhile, the Ismaili Center in Lisbon has become a modern landmark of the Muslim community. Beyond being a place of worship, it hosts seminars, cultural events, and inclusive social programs. Amid the ongoing challenges of limited worship space and occasional social stigma, Portugal's Muslim community continues to grow with a spirit of peace and a commitment to contributing meaningfully to society. They are not only part of Portugal's present but also of its future. Lisbon. Inside a small halal shop tucked away in Moraria, one of Lisbon's oldest and most diverse neighborhoods, the air is filled with a blend of Urdu, Bengali, Arabic, and Portuguese. A young man, Abdul Latif, 23, chats warmly with customers as he weighs halal beef behind the counter. Portuguese people are kind, and I enjoy living here, he says with a smile. But sometimes, I still feel like an outsider. Abdul is one of thousands of young Muslims shaping the evolving face of Islam in Portugal, a growing minority community navigating life between tradition, faith, and integration. Faith in a secular society. Portugal, with its strong Catholic heritage and increasingly secular society, does not have a long history of modern Muslim integration. Yet today's Muslim population, largely composed of immigrants from South Asia, North Africa, and former Portuguese colonies like Mozambique, has found relative peace and coexistence. There are stereotypes, of course. But I've never been directly attacked, says Sofia Al-Ghazali, a Portuguese Muslim of Moroccan descent, who wears a hijab while working at a public library in Porto. Sometimes I have to explain why I don't eat regular meat or why I fast. But people are usually curious, not judgmental. Education, work, and the future of children. In the city of Setúbal, Yasmin and her husband have just enrolled their child in a local public elementary school. They speak Portuguese at home, but also teach their children to read the Quran on weekends. We want them to be part of Portugal, Yasmin explains, but we also want them to know who they are. Still, economic challenges remain. Many Muslims work in service industries, construction, or run small businesses. Foreign diplomas and certifications are often not automatically recognized. To address this, the government has launched Programa Integrar, an employment and training program for immigrants. But bureaucratic hurdles persist. Getting residency papers is so complicated, says Firaz, a Pakistani immigrant who now runs a small restaurant in Braga. Places of worship and collective identity. Mosques in Lisbon and nearby areas are increasingly crowded, especially during Friday prayers and Ramadan. Some are forced to hold prayers on sidewalks due to lack of space. The long-awaited project to build a large mosque in Moreira remains stalled over permit issues. Yet despite the limitations, spirits remain high. We do more than just pray, says Sheikh Munir of the Lisbon Islamic community. We cook for the poor, help newcomers, and hold interfaith dialogues. At the same time, Muslim youth are beginning to express their identity with more confidence. Some schools have started offering halal meal options or prayer accommodations during lunch breaks. The shadow of prejudice. Although open hostility is rare, some young Muslims say they still experience prejudice in subtle ways, like stares on the street or uncomfortable questions during job interviews. When I wear my hijab, I feel I have to be extra friendly so people don't get the wrong idea, says Nur Aisha, a law student at the University of Lisbon. But I'm still proud of who I am. Some media outlets and political figures have occasionally tried to link immigration to social threats, though such claims remain unfounded. The Muslim community has actively spoken out against extremism and maintains cooperation with authorities to ensure public safety. A legacy beyond the margins. Portugal was once part of the Islamic world during the Al-Andalus era, and the legacy remains in place names, old mosque ruins, and the Murtola Islamic Festival, which today stands as a symbol of tolerance and cultural heritage. Islam isn't foreign to Portugal. We're simply reawakening a long-dormant relationship, says Professor Miguel Duarte, a historian at the University of Coimbra. A growing hope. Muslim life in Portugal today is a mosaic of struggle and optimism. Muslims here are not merely visitors, they are students, workers, mothers, entrepreneurs, and citizens striving to build a future together. As Sofia Al-Ghazali from Porto put it, we don't ask for special treatment. We just want to be acknowledged as Muslims, as human beings, and as part of Portugal. In the historic cities of Portugal, from Lisbon to Porto, there is a quiet voice that continues to proclaim faith not to dominate, but to endure. The Muslim community here is more than just newcomers. They are teachers, students, merchants, and neighbors. They build lives, uphold values, and add color to today's Portugal. And although they still face challenges from social prejudice to limited worship spaces, their spirit remains strong. Because for them, being Muslim in Portugal means living in harmony, not in conflict. Thank you for watching. If you feel this video has opened a new perspective, don't forget to like, comment, and share it with your friends. Tell us in the comments, how do you think European societies should respond to religious and cultural diversity? See you in the next video. Stay critical, stay open, and stay caring. Note, the names, images, and/or videos displayed in this content have been anonymized or altered to protect the privacy and identities of the parties involved.